Hey guys, Fake Rooster here, and today I'm bringing you episode 3 of the RSOC tape. Now this is the final episode of the interviews that I've done so far, but we might be adding to this playlist again in the future. In today's episode, we'll primarily focus on Battlefield 2042. I'll be getting the opinions of both Ravi and Shoji about what we've seen of the game so far and what we might expect. We do get into some quite nerdy territory, talking about some of the more controversial issues thus far with the new title, but I hope you guys really enjoy this video. I'm really excited about tomorrow being EA Play and hoping that we get a little bit more information about the next Battlefield title. As I say, I hope you enjoy the video. Leave me a like if you do, subscribe for more videos, and I'll see you guys at the end of the video. When it comes to the trailers themselves, which I think you'll agree were fantastic trailers, they were very cool. Was there anything in the trailers that really stood out to you that made you look forward to the next game?
To me, the thing that I love movement in video games in general, like the thing that attracts me to a game more, especially a first-person shooter, if they have more movement and ability options, I am attracted to the game. That's just the kind of gamer I am. For Battlefield 2042, the trailer, seeing the wingsuits, seeing the grapple, and the thing that did it for me actually was probably the tornado. Like, just that's the spectacle, the spectacle of how much chaos that would create on the map, and the possibilities that opens up. Like just seeing someone wingsuit through a tornado, seeing tanks and helicopters being sucked in. Like, you know, we don't know exactly what the gameplay is going to be like, but I would be surprised if you can't shoot your gun or shoot out of a tank in the tornado. Not that you're gonna hit your target or anything, but just the idea that it'll be fun. That's what when I was saying earlier about the sandbox. Like I think DICE has said that Battlefield 2042 is a love letter to Battlefield fans, and when they say that, that resonates with me, because it's basically saying like, look, you did all these crazy things like in Battlefield 4, like launching vehicles across the map, doing crazy things in jets, and I believe Battlefield 2042, they said it's a sequel to Battlefield 4 essentially. Like it's a modern game set in 2042 obviously, so it's they've opened up so much more to the sandbox, and they specifically showed all of those things in the trailer. So I don't think it was, for me, it was the tornado and the wingsuiting through it that like kind of really caught my eye. That's what made me excited. They just show that they're focused on sandbox elements. They're focused on variety of gameplay. It's a modern shooter. We know they're going to be modern guns. So I'm not really too concerned about what kind of guns are in the game. I'm more concerned about how the game's going to play and how much variety there is. Like I said, for people to have something that attracts them. Like I already know as a specialist in the game, like you can pick the different specialists. I'm going to go with the guy as a wingsuit every damn time, because I'm going to want to jump off a building and fly across the map and do crazy stuff. Like that, to me, that's exciting.
I'm absolutely looking forward to it returning to a modern combat setting for sure. Is a big aspect there. The visual fidelity of it, from what little bit of that alpha gameplay we've seen, looked really nice. This was one that actually looks good, and I like that, you know, the cinematic trailer that they put out was, I like that they were calling back a lot of things to that cinematic trailer with the gameplay trailer. Everything from like the tuk-tuks getting pulled up into the sky by the tornado, and you know, like the wheels popping off the tuk-tuk when that occurred, stuff like that. But yeah, definitely the scale, like the number of players that are going to be able to be on a server at one time. Based on what we've seen, and then also based on some of the comments that the devs have since made on like Reddit or on Twitter and such, a lot of times for me, like a big thing about games and what makes them enjoyable is the movement around a map, and it looks like the movement and mechanics like that within 2042 are going to be really interesting.
What do you think about the time to kill in the next game? Do you think it should be really quick? Do you think it should be, let's say, should it be like Battlefield 4, or should it be a little faster like 5, or some sort of middle ground, do you think?
In my opinion, the time to kill for Battlefield in general, like, I would be happiest, like, I'm the kind of gamer who enjoys a longer time to kill. The more bullets it takes means that you have to track your target better. It means you have to strafe. It means there's more of a skill gap, in my opinion. I know people will argue with that, but in my opinion, they'll say, well, reaction time and time to kill, like, if it's really short, that's higher skill. I disagree with that. I don't want a one-shot headshot with every gun like Rainbow Six or something. At the same time, I don't want it to be Halo. I don't want it to have a super long time to kill. To me, Battlefield 2042 should shoot for something between Battlefield 4 and Battlefield 1. Less important is what the TTK is, as opposed to what their vision of the game is. If they want to make the TTK a little faster and more like Battlefield 5, a little more like BF3, BF4, even if they wanted to do that, that's fine, as long as they stick to it. They want the people who come into the game who enjoyed that kind of gameplay to stay with the game. If you start changing up fundamental aspects of the game, like the TTK, across the board, if you change a weapon here or there because it's not performing as well as another weapon, that's different. That's weapon balance, like I mentioned. But when you change the overall TTK, you change how the entire game plays.
I think I would like to see them find a happy medium between Battlefield 4 and Battlefield 5. There was definitely, again, lots of issues with the time to kill in Battlefield 5. I didn't like the fact that they were just yo-yoing it back and forth and making these wide sweeping changes. If they found a happy medium, between the two, that would be good. Generally, just between the original Battlefield 5 TTK and a Battlefield 4 TTK would be like a nice kind of medium. And then my main thing is again just not making any wide sweeping changes, balancing weapons on a weapon by weapon basis, not we're gonna nerf all assault rifles or all SMGs or things like that, kind of like they were doing with with Battlefield 5.
How do you feel about the Battle Pass in general? Do you think that's a good thing? Do you think that's not really going to make much of a difference for player retention? Or do you think it's a bad thing?
I have two separate opinions on this. Like, in general, I'm not a huge fan of Battle Passes in general. And the reason why is because I'm more of an old school gamer. I understand that a development studio and a publisher want people invested in their game long term. They want them coming back again and again and again. To me, I want to play a variety of games, like not... I still stick with usually 1 or 2 shooters, maybe 3 shooters over several years. I find... I'm not saying I won't be... In the same way I played Battlefield 1 for a couple years and I played Battlefield 5 for over a year, I'm absolutely not opposed to playing, like investing in several, like hundreds of hours in the same game. The thing I dislike about Battle Passes in general in other games and free-to-play games is that they often put content locked behind the Battle Pass, and that I'm not a huge fan of. The difference with Battlefield 2042, and I think they did the same thing with Battlefield 5, kind of. There's not going to be there's not going to be a gun that is an OP gun that's going to be in the Battle Pass. That if you don't have the Battle Pass, you can't have, because it's a paid game. So the Battle Pass to me sounds like it's going to be a purely cosmetic thing, which in my opinion is a good thing. Like, if you want to spend the money and get the cosmetics and you want to look cool on the battlefield, go for it. It's your that's your prerogative. It can make a game that potentially would not have as much of an audience or not have as much revenue increase its revenue. But Battlefield 2042, I'm going to have to see how much I enjoy the game. If I enjoy it, I like the Battle Pass, I'll get the Battle Pass. If I think it's not worth it, I won't. I think they're doing it the best way they can for a paid game. At that same time, like, the fact that they're having a Battle Pass on top of a paid game is kind of frustrating to me. Most games out right now that have in my opinion, I would say good battle passes, they are free games. So that's even the thing with like Call of Duty right now. Warzone is free to play, and they have a battle pass. So that makes sense to me. You have to make money back in your game for a free to play game. As long as the content is not locked behind the battle pass, I will continue to play the game, and I'm more likely to buy the battle pass because I want to support the game, because I want to play the game, because I don't feel like I'm cut out of any content. But if I miss a season, or I miss a battle pass because I stopped playing the game for 2 or 3 months and I pick it back up, I won't feel like I'm at a disadvantage because I missed this gun in the last battle pass.
I could take them or leave them. They're the days of expansions and expansion passes are definitely gone. If there's stuff that I like, I may get one of the battle passes to try and achieve those things, but I'm not going to hate on the game for it. I'm more concerned about having frequent and consistent content drops with meaningful content, such as maps, vehicles, weapons. That was a major problem with 5. Is they're like, oh, no more map packs. It's all going to be free, but then they rarely released them. And by the time that they started to get into some sort of cadence of releasing them on a regular basis, the community was already moved on. They were done with the game by the time there was any kind of, somewhat regular cadence of content expansions that came out. So that's what I'm more concerned about, is just having consistent and frequent content drops and expansions come out for the game. Battle Pass, I don't think it's hurting anything.
Alright guys, so that's going to wrap it up for the trilogy of RSOC tapes I've got to bring you this week. I really hope you've enjoyed these videos. I've certainly enjoyed making them. It's let me delve a little bit into the world of audio editing. Obviously these videos weren't perfect, but it has given me the skills, if we do it again, to maybe do an improved interview style. If you liked the video, please leave a like. Please comment if there's any topics you'd love me to do this format with again in the future. Subscribe for more, as I say, and I'll see you guys in the next video.